Welcome to the Yes to Life show. Today we're going to talk about one of the biggest concerns people have when thinking about a vegan diet, and that's how can I get enough protein on a vegan diet. This video is part of a vegan meal prep series here on YouTube, so make sure to check out the other videos as well. Before my brother and I decided to turn vegan in 2017, we both were really concerned with vegan protein. Because somehow there's this disbelief that as a vegan you can't get any protein because only meat, eggs and dairy has all the proteins you need, and even if plants have certain proteins, they are not good enough and you can't really use them. So that's what actually kept us from going full-on vegan for around 1 year before then finally making the switch when we realized there are enough vegan protein sources. And in this video I want to share with you the 5 most important vegan protein sources. First you have lentils, and lentils are probably our favorite vegan protein source. You have red lentils, brown lentils, green lentils, yellow lentils, black lentils, and they all have a slightly different taste and appearance and texture, and that's why they're so great, because you can vary them a lot and make your food more interesting. And lentils are great because per 100 grams they have around 25 to 28 grams of protein. When we started on the vegan diet we were actually eating a lot of red lentils, but nowadays we switch more to black beluga lentils because after boiling they still have more texture, while red lentils get quite mushy and soft after boiling. And we recommend buying dried lentils because lentils are super easy to prepare. All you have to do is you soak them, preferably overnight, in water. You wash them through and then you boil them for 10 to 20 minutes depending on the type of lentils, so it's super quick to prepare. And one new trend emerging here in Germany, but I think everywhere around the world, is lentil noodles. These are noodles that are purely made from lentil flour, and that means they're gluten-free, they just take 5 minutes to prepare, and they are super packed with protein. Again, they have around 25 to 27 grams of protein per 100 gram. So eating one bowl of pasta, you already get 50 grams of protein. That's a lot. Second, you have beans and legumes. The most common are kidney beans, white beans and chickpeas. And beans also have around 20 to 25 grams of protein per 100 grams of dried beans. But most of the time you're probably going to eat the pre-boiled version, so they have around 7 to 9 grams of protein per 100 gram. And why do you rather use the pre-boiled version? The reason is simple. Boiling beans and legumes takes longer than it would take for boiling lentils. So you don't just need to soak them for 8 hours or more, but you also need to boil them for up to 60 minutes. And that's a lot. If you have the time, we can recommend to boil your own beans and legumes because first, they taste better than the pre-cooked version, and second, you save a lot of money here as well because buying them in bulk is really, really cheap. But most of us have busy lives. In that case, just go for the pre-cooked version because it's readily available. You find them in any supermarket. They're also really cheap, and you can add them to almost any vegan dish. And then you have tofu. Tofu is made from soybeans. The soybeans are being boiled in water and then they are clotted and in the end pressed into this firm block of tofu. You have different types of tofu. You have the soft silken tofu, the regular tofu and the extra firm tofu. And in general, tofu contains around 8 to 10 grams of protein per 100 gram. That depends a little bit on the consistency. As a rule of thumb, you can say that the softer the tofu, the less protein it has, and the firmer the tofu, the more protein it has. So here in Germany, we usually buy tofu blocks that have around 15 grams of protein per 100 gram. And a lot of people think that tofu is boring, which is really not true because there are so many different ways to prepare tofu. You can marinate it, you can fry it, you can bake it in so many different forms. All you have to learn is the right way to prepare the tofu. And as a little side note, a lot of people are concerned about GMOs. So make sure that you don't buy GMO tofu. Make sure the label says non-GMO, or in the best case, go for organic tofu directly. At least here in Germany and in the European Union, if you buy organic tofu, it's made from organically grown soybeans. And that means they're subject to strict controls. Whereas a lot of the soybeans that go into animal feed actually are not controlled at all. So that's where all of the GMO soy goes, into the animal feed. And then there's tempeh, another soy-based product, but unlike tofu, tempeh is not boiled and clotted. Tempeh is made from soybeans that are left to ferment. And tempeh is packed with protein. It has way more protein than tofu, usually around 20 grams per 100 grams of tempeh. And it's also full of prebiotics, a type of fiber that supports the growth of beneficial bacteria in your gut. And lastly, there are nuts and seeds. And again, there are so many different types of nuts and seeds that you can incorporate into your diet. So for breakfast, for instance, you can use flax seeds and chia seeds. You can make a chia seed or a flaxseed pudding, or simply sprinkle them over your overnight oats, your granola, or whatever you prepare in the morning. And for lunch and dinner, go for sunflower seeds or pumpkin seeds. They add a lot of crunch to your food, but also bring a lot of proteins. And the clear winner here is pumpkin seeds, because they have around 32 grams of protein per 100 grams. And the same goes for nuts. You have cashew nuts, almonds, macadamia nuts, walnuts, and they usually have around 15 to 20 grams of protein, but of course also higher in fat. So make sure you don't base your whole protein intake just on nuts alone. And knowing about the different types of protein and how to prepare them for your meals is crucially important for meal prepping, because you want to make sure to have some source of protein in your meals every day. And that's what we teach in our new online course, The Ultimate Guide to Meal Prepping. This course teaches you how to easily bang out hundreds of vegan recipes every week using our insanely simple 5x5 meal prep wonder weapon. It teaches you the exact skills to create your own delicious recipes from scratch, saving countless hours and dollars every week while achieving the body of your dreams. If you want to learn more about that, make sure to click on the link below.